So, this is the second part. And, I'm hoping this goes right, because already I'm noticing that some of the same problems I was having with the camera are beginning to creep back in again, but we'll see. As I said in that last video, the first part, I was basically saying that I felt that today's mainstream rap doesn't have the same spirit that hip-hop used to have. And I know that's a statement that's going to piss a few people off if they really love today's music, so let me explain what I mean. As I said in the last video, the guys who were really pushing hip-hop to the forefront, who were developing its style, making it more sophisticated, making the beats sound more complex, and just really bringing it out there and really developing it, were the DJs. They were the guys who... Hip-hop did not only started because of the DJ. They were the ones who started doing scratching. They were the ones who started the whole sampling thing. They were the ones who told MCs to get up on the mic. MCs, remember that term? How many of you motherfuckers still remember that term? MC. It's my son playing right now with his toys. Master of ceremonies, because that's what it was. Remember, hip-hop back then, and to this day, that's one thing I have to give Southern rap. They haven't really forgotten that hip-hop is originally party stuff. That's one thing I have to give them. I may not like their sound all that much. Well, I shouldn't. Sometimes I like their sound, and sometimes I don't. It just depends. But I notice that no matter what, they have not forgotten that they're party music. I notice all their music is geared for clubs. So I mean, it's just the time party music. So I can't. They're not. You know, they know it is supposed to be about fun. That's all I can give them. But yeah, that's how it started. DJs started rocking the party, two turntables, you know, playing this cut, playing that cut, playing this break, playing that break, and every now and then the MC would come on, and it was the DJ that gave him the mic. It was the DJ that gave him the rite of passage to, you know, start saying shit to the crowd, which is how it started. They're the ones that developed the beats. They were the ones who developed the sampling to the art form it is in hip-hop. You know, they really were pushing the envelope. And slowly but surely, DJs started getting faded way into the background. And MCs started getting pushed more into prominence, mostly because of record companies, because they realized it's easier to market the rapper than it is to market the DJ, since it's the rapper who's out there moving around and saying lyrics and shit like that. The problem is, since the DJ is the backbone of the beat and the music of hip-hop, if you take them out, sooner or later the quality is going to go down, which is exactly what happened. I don't know if you guys have seen the movie Scratch. If you haven't, look for it. It's on DVD. I don't know, but I'm pretty sure they're still it's still in print. You know, they're still publishing it. Really good independent film done by Doug Prey, the same guy who made documentaries on I believe he did it on the garage and punk scene. And he did it on Scratch, which is about hip-hop culture, particularly on the DJ, the hip-hop DJ, turntablism, its development, things like that. And he later on did one on graffiti as well. But check out Scratch. If you really want to see how hip-hop has developed and what the DJ has brought to hip-hop, you need to watch Scratch. It really does a good job of breaking that down. And the DJs point blank themselves said, you know, as we were getting pushed more to the background and rappers started getting more into prominence, we kind of went into our own corner and kept developing our music over and over, and, you know, just, sorry, my son's flashing with the we. They just kept, they kind of, you know how like an artist, when he doesn't have a group of people around him anymore, so he's free to do whatever the hell he wants, so he just kind of goes crazy on the canvas, and then sometimes he'll come up with something that's just mind-blowing. This is what happened with DJs in hip-hop. They just did their own thing, and they were in their own world. This is how turntablism popped up, for those of you who know what that is. And interestingly enough, hip-hop started bleeding out into other genres of music that kind of helped to develop their style a bit. Even though they were their own thing. I'm not trying to say that hip-hop birthed other forms of music. I'm not going to go that far. But in a sense, they kind of put an influence on it, and there was a marriage of sorts. Like, hip-hop and house music at one time were hand in hand. Hip-hop heads were also house heads, because they both, you know, would go to the same clubs. Hell, the Jungle Brothers would have never put out that hit, Girl, I'll House You, if there wasn't that intermingling. I mean, God, who remembers I Got the Power, right? You know, those mixes of, you know, electronic music and hip-hop, which shouldn't be too much of a surprise to people because hip-hop is a form of electronic music anyway. DJs started branching off and doing their own thing, continuing the innovation. If you'll notice, anyone who's listens to old hip-hop and listens to new hip-hop with an honest ear will realize that rappers today really can't compare to the rappers back then. Because back then there was always that one-upsmanship. Who can do what better? That's where the battling came from. Who had the better skills? So rappers started getting more sophisticated, the lyrics started getting more complex and shit like that, and it really blew up during the early 90s. DJs were doing the same thing with their beat making and their tricks. The funny thing is, when the DJs left, they took the battling culture with them. Because nowadays, rappers don't really battle unless they got beef, and then they don't really call it a battle, they call it a fight. There is no who's got better lyrical skill anymore. Now it's who sells more records. They're chasing the pop charts, which if you listen to old school hip-hop records, you'll find that that was supposed to be a no-no. Hip-hop artists were not supposed to be chasing the pop charts. Hip-hop artists were not supposed to be going mainstream just for the sake of going mainstream. If you had a top-selling record, fine, but it was all about the art form, not about making money. I know you gotta eat, but come on. DJs didn't seem to, well, for the most part, many of these DJs didn't seem to forget that, so they kind of went crazy. And like I said, they started spreading out and doing different things. And even starting their own record labels dedicated to other DJs who started making their own stuff. And they started making beats where they didn't need rappers on them anymore. They just made hip-hop, what I like to call hip-hop instrumentals. Cold Cut would be a good example. For those of you who really know your hip-hop, you know who Cold Cut is. They were the ones who came up with that famous remix of Eric B's Paid in Full that everybody who knows hip-hop knows that beat. They were seeing the writing on the wall with hip-hop as far back as 1990, and they didn't want to go follow down that shit, so they formed their own record label called Ninja Tune, which is one of my favorite record labels to this day. It's just a bunch of independent DJs making some ridiculous beats. In fact, some of the beats that you were hearing in the beginning of this video that I've been playing are from Ninja Tune. Specifically from this disc right here. This is an old one. It's Cold Crush Cuts. It was a compilation between Cold Cut and DJ Crush, a Japanese DJ. And once again, if you know your hip hop, you know who Crush is. A double CD set. My case is broken, but double CD set. I was playing off the first one. All that was instrumental hip hop. Hardly a rapper to be heard. Good shit, wasn't it? You had other DJs doing this. DJ Shadow. I already mentioned DJ Crush. Kid Koala, who's a Ninja Tune artist. DJ Food, another Ninja Tune artist. Just started coming up with some really cool shit. And then later on, it just started getting a life of its own. Like these cats, Thievery Corporation. I got a lot of their CDs. Just weird shit. Prefuse 73, another cat that I really like. What he's done with cuts and samples is just weird. His weird choppy cut-up style. And this kind of, these guys, granted, are guys you can go out to a, you know, buy it online, or, you know, go to a store, if you still go to stores to buy your CDs. But there are other cats who just made shit just for parties, just because they could, and they didn't necessarily make it on the radio. Jungle's a perfect example of an art form that, for the most part, a lot of their artists didn't really make it all that big. The only reason why they're known is because of hard school heads who know their name. Jungle is probably the one genre that I listen to it more than hip-hop these days. But I've noticed with a lot of the jungle music I listen to, some of that kind of hip-hop edge and the sense of innovation and one-upping themselves and just coming up with crazy beats and just being by themselves in a basement somewhere, just churning shit out, that spirit is in Jungle. If you don't believe me, check out ragajungle.com. There's tons of music on that forum. You could just go right to the message board, go to the music section, download a song for free. They're done by cats who, they're DJs, they do local parties, they go to clubs and make shit, but then they go back to their basement and just cut another record. They just keep making music for the sake of making music, keep working with an amen break. That's what I think hip-hop, no, sorry. Real hip-hop, you listen to underground radio, you listen to, like, you know, true heads, they still got that spirit with them. But mainstream rap, that sense of just doing it for the sake of the art itself and not really caring, it's not there anymore. These days they're just trying to chase the pop charts because they're completely pimped out by record labels now, just like so much other mainstream music. That's why I can't get into rap as much as I used to. I mean, I still like hip-hop, real hip-hop if I can find it, but mainstream music, regardless of what type of mainstream music it is, what made their sound in the first place is no longer there, because you can't really make money with art, really, with true art, with true expression. A marketable product is a marketable product, but music, it's a hard thing to find.